Hey folks, it's your boy BC back with another based LDS video, and let's going over some breaking news in a couple videos here. This first one I hope will be relatively short. Some of you may have already heard. You woke up and read your newspaper, or you saw on the news that the church was hit with a fine by the SEC. And there's there's two ways of reporting on this. Lo and behold, who'd have thunk it? There's a church did nothing wrong way, or church did nothing intentionally wrong way, and there's the church is up to shenanigans way. And I'm going to go with everyone's popular. I've got both ways up here. CNN Business. The Mormon church to pay fine to settle charges. It hid approximately $32 billion investment fund. Deseret News, church settles case with SEC over financial reporting. And spoilers, you're going to find out even CNN can't hide the fact that we weren't hiding anything. The SEC fine is not that we were hiding investments. It's that we misreported them. They didn't like the way we did our paperwork, which is fine and dandy. So let's just read through CNN real quick. And forgive the purple highlights. I did not do that. I do not know how to get rid of it. See? Oh, remove highlight. Yeah, see, it doesn't matter. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and its investment manager will pay a $5 million fine to settle regulatory charges that it hid. Huge investment fund. The Securities and Exchange... What? There's always something, right? The SEC said Tuesday that Ensign Peak Advisors, the firm that manages the LDS finances, failed to file forms that would have disclosed the value of certain church investments. Instead, the firm filed forms for shell companies that obscured church portfolio and misstated the firm's control over the church's investment decisions. See, doesn't shell companies sound evil? Thank you, Law and Order and other companies. There's a shell company. If you have investment properties and they're listed under LLCs, congratulations, you've got a shell company. If you know somebody that's a landlord, they own a shell company if they're smart. We'll get into that in a minute. Let's see here. So, $5 million fine because of misreporting on $32 billion worth of investments. And now you're going to find out CNN Business has half of a quote. Deseret News has two halves of the same quote. So let's go. CNN says, we allege the LDS Church's investment manager, with the church's knowledge, went to great lengths to avoid disclosing the church's investments, depriving the commission and the investing public of accurate marketing information. Gabor Grewal, director of the SEC's Division of Enforcement, said in a news release. And that really, there it ends. I mean, this is just a short article. The church misfiled. They filed several forms as shell companies to avoid disclosing $32 billion worth of investments. That's not quite true. Deseret News, again, more church-friendly. But when you look at the reporting, you're going to go, okay, yeah, no. Much more clear than CNN. That said, we should still be concerned with how the church release went. So, again, we're going to pay $5 million in a court order Tuesday by the SEC. The church and Ensign Peak Advisors adjusted their practices in 2019 after learning about SEC concerns and complied with rules that require them to disclose the church's entire stock portfolio in a single set of quarterly filing forms, the SEC said. They continue. They are considered to be in complete compliance. The quote continues, this settlement relates to how the forms were filed previously. Ensign Peak and the church have cooperated with the government over a period of time as we sought resolution. We affirm our commitment to comply with the law, regret mistakes made, and now consider the matter closed. So the church is, yeah, we did some stuff. Sorry. We'll take the slap. Our bad. Let's see here. Ensign Peak will pay $4 million. The church will pay $1 million. And down below in the church statement, and there's a frequently asked questions section issued by the church. And the church says they're not paying it from the tithing, the $1 million. They're paying it from investment return reserves. So your tithing is safe. They're paying it from the money earned from the investment properties. See, here's where you get into it. So here's where they get what CNN calls shell companies. Deseret News is the 13F. So violations of 13F disclosure requirements are a negligible portion of the SEC's annual enforcement effort. So the church has to file on 13F. Okay. The SEC filed 760 enforcement actions in fiscal year 2022 and levied nearly $4.2 billion in civil penalties, according to an SEC press release. The SEC order alleged that Ensign Peak violated Section 13F of the Exchange Act by failing to file Forms 13F in Ensign Peak's name. So when Ensign Peak rolled off all these different LLCs, they just filed the 13F under the name of the LLC. The church agreed to settle the SEC's allegations that it caused Ensign Peak violation by approving its filing practice. So Ensign Peak said, here's what we think we should do. And the church said, okay, go ahead. The SEC order said that in agreeing to a settlement, the church admitted no wrongdoing. Sorry, my daughter wanted my phone. I can't remember where we're at. But basically, for certain investment properties, Ensign Peak formed an LEC for their investment properties, different ones. It limits their legal liability on each one. So in case of a lawsuit, or harm, or accident, things like this, they can't come after the church in its entirety. They can only come after that LLC. So the SEC order says the church admitted no wrongdoing. And let's say this here. Where was it? Since 2000, Ensign Peak received and relied upon legal counsel regarding how to comply with its reporting obligations while attempting to maintain the privacy of the portfolio. They got bad advice. To me, it's bad advice. How many of us have received bad advice? Regret our mistakes. We didn't mean any wrongdoing. We didn't mean anything wrong, but it didn't work out. Bad advice. Sometimes it's my own advice. Sometimes I get it from other people. Sometimes I give it. It's bad advice. But from 1997, the church failed to file with the commission certain required forms to disclose the entire size of the church's equity portfolio. So, again, the SEC says from 1997 to 2019. And then later on down here, they say from 2019 on, they've been great. They've been in compliance. Everything's fine. So the church is not really done. Yet they did wrong, but it's not a big thing. They just should have taken all their individual 13Fs and somehow, whatever the procedure is, compiled them into the one single aggregated form. Now, here's where I think the church gets into trouble. Okay? The church just has its problems when people find out about money, because people get weird about money. My daughter's about to walk by. She looks cute. But people get weird when it comes to money, right? The church wants to maintain its privacy of its holdings, and I think they should. I think back to 1840s, and what was it called? I forget if it was even Nauvoo or Kirtland, but they had the Fire and Securities Commission or something to that effect. You remember it. The funds were mishandled. People lost a lot. People went into it thinking, oh, this is done by the prophet. This is prophetic. We're all going to get rich. Speculation was rampant. And when it went south, people got hurt and blamed the church. They absolutely did. And then they left the church. And they blamed Joseph Smith. And they blamed And God was no longer with him. And what happens when the stock market tanks? Church holdings go down. And people that are following the investment properties lose their holdings. And they don't have the other investments that the church does to keep them afloat when bad times hit. And instead they lose everything. And those people point to the church and go, I wasn't safe. I did what you did and I wasn't protected. Your fault, prophet's fault, just whatever. I think the security and privacy of these holdings is good. And I don't think, I'm hoping they can still maintain some of that privacy with this new filing. I don't know what the proper order is because I'm not a tax attorney but I'm hoping they can maintain that privacy. But here's the second reason for maintaining the privacy of its holdings. And I mentioned this in a video a couple videos ago where people just get bent about weird things. And I included tithing and how, was it Newsweek and Time, they've each had the Mormon Inc. And we talk about the billions of dollars the church holds in assets and property, and to make it seem like we're shady and up to no good and we're benefiting, the leaders of the church are benefiting off the broken backs of the poor huddled masses who pay their tithing, and that's not what it is. But the church has to build temples, church buildings. They need to have assets in place to secure buildings, to secure land, to secure loans. I'm assuming they work through loans. They might not. I don't know how they go about it, but you get the idea. Maybe they pay for everything up front. Maybe they do. But I do know some investment people that say debt isn't bad if used right. So maybe they're requiring the right kind of debt and then speedily paying it off. But they use these holdings to secure access to money for building projects, for good works. And I say this because I think the other part is, why would the church be accumulating all these investment properties? Lands, buildings. I say this because I wonder what it's going to take to fully build the kingdom in the last days. And here I'm at a disadvantage. This is like Troy Abel's Last Dispensation type territory, where you get into second coming and all that's going to happen. And that dude can deep dive and deep bomb a lot of this. I'm a guy, I want to learn about salvation and stuff. And I'm not saying he doesn't. But I'm a guy, I get into soteriology and stuff like that, where it's the study of salvation. That's my thing. And Troy gets really good, and some of the others do, but Troy, I think, is one of the fun ones to watch his videos on last days. His channel, Last Dispensation. But what is it going to take to build the kingdom upon the Savior's arrival? Because I don't think everything's suddenly free and people are just going to give up possessions and property for the kingdom to be built. I think in some cases they very well will. But I think there's some cases, like, say, Abraham was offered land for free to bury Sarah, and he said, no, I'll pay. David was offered land for the temple. No, I'll pay. There's reasons for that. And when the Lord appears, there will be things that will need to be done, and the church will have to pay. We need, in my mind, there's a need for this. In my mind, there's a use for this. And I don't think there's anything shady or backhanded. I don't think there's a problem with holding massive sums of money to keep the church afloat in lean times, to keep missions going, but also to build the kingdom in every way, both now and to come. And so, you know what? I want to give one last plug. I did pull this up. Last Dispensation, that's Troy Abel's channel. He just turned out a new video, and I think it goes nice when it helps you to understand tithing and consecration. Right? We go to the temple. We covenant to live the law of consecration. And not many of us understand what consecration is. And I love that he turned out this video. I'm not going to play it This is Troy's. Go to his channel, watch this, help him earn a couple bucks. He's got a few more subscribers than I do. But I hope he makes a little something off of these videos because he does great with these videos. But here's the latest video that just came out today. We are already living the law of consecration. United order, not all saints. Tithing is high law. This is a fantastic video. I hope you'll check it out. I hope you'll go and watch it. And I hope you'll let him know in his comments that I directed you there, if you weren't already there. Anyway, brothers and sisters, that's all. I love you. Thank you for joining me. Peace out.